Hey everyone, tonight is the third boot camp call we have. It's February 7th. Thanks so much for joining, whether you're listening to the live or you're listening to the recording. Tonight we're going to talk about connecting. I have some ideas I wanted to share from you from an executive call that I was on last night, and then I also wanted to share some stuff from the 90-day action plan. And remember, you can get that from isagenxbusiness.com. You can print that off. But connecting, so whether that's proactive or reactive, proactive would be like you're reaching out to people on a daily basis, sharing Isagenix with them or connecting with them. Like last night I sat down after my calls, before I went to bed, and just added people on Facebook, add people on LinkedIn. It'll say like people you may know, and you'll see like common connections with them and other people that you're connected with, and you can actually see how many connections you have that are common. So maybe it's someone, like there was one lady on there that was my neighbor. I haven't even connected with her on Facebook yet. I'm like, she's my neighbor and I haven't even connected with her on Facebook. And so I saw her on Facebook last night because it came up in the people you may know. So just things like that, right? So easy things to do, adding 5 or adding 10 of those a day. The call I was on last night, we were talking about it, adding 10 cold connections actually every day. And cold connections can be people you actually don't know. But you see them through mutual friends. And then the warm connections, adding 5 of those a day. So that would be like the person I saw that was my neighbor. So that would be one of the warm connections. And so like you would handle those differently, and we can talk about that later. But say, for instance, you're at a party or you're at a work event or something like that, a barbecue or something, and someone's like, hey, how are you? And you introduce yourself and you're talking with them. I know that over the years, like I've become more comfortable with that. Years ago, I used to be really shy, so I didn't like talking to people. So I would let them talk a lot. I wouldn't really ask them questions. It'd be kind of a weird, like awkward conversation. But the more I've learned about connecting, just asking them about their family, their occupation, their work, what do they do, their recreation, so what do they like to do? Do you play sports? Do you watch football? Or did you see that game last night? Did you watch the Super Bowl? Connecting like that, right? So just asking them questions like that. The weather, I don't know, that's a kind of a corny one, I think. But a lot of people talk about the weather a lot. So that's kind of like an easy one if you're really struggling with questions to ask them. And then next, motivation. What do they love to do? What is their motivation in life? Do they have a purpose, passion, that type of thing? So that little connecting acronym, family, occupation, recreation, and motivation, is the word form, FORM. So that's something that you can think about in the back of your mind, asking them questions. They always say to be interested, not interesting, right? So not taking over the conversation and just talking about yourself. Like, people like talking about themselves, so maybe you switch it around and you're talking and asking them questions, and then they're talking about themselves more. And you'll find like it's just fun to do that, right? To learn about people. It's so interesting to hear where people are from and how they grew up and everything. I was talking with a guy yesterday that I met on LinkedIn. We connected, had coffee. I had tea, he had coffee. But he's from the Dominican Republic. That's where he was born. So he has and he travels to Mexico a lot. So it's just getting to know people and finding connections in that. We actually used to, asking questions, we found out that we both used to work at the same company years ago. Different times, but we worked at the same company. So we found some common ground. And so that's something that, you build a relationship with. So connecting and networking. So talking about listening to them, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, right? So use your ears to listen more than you're talking. Also too, like when I meet someone new, I add them on social media. So I'll just literally grab my phone and just say, hey, first of all, my phone's probably in my hand all the time. So, or it's in my back pocket. I never let it out of my sight. It's probably with me more than anyone or anything. And so I just say, oh, I pull up Facebook, or I just pull up a connection on my phone, like I'm adding a new person to my telephone, and I'll just say, how do you spell your last name? Because if I know their first name, right, say they tell me their name is Chris, and then I'm just going to say, what's your last name? So I say, okay, so Chris Smith, and I put it in Facebook, search for them, and I'm like, okay, is this you? Is this you? Or I'll just actually give it to them and let them find themselves on Facebook. I'm asking them, obviously, if they're on Facebook. If you're not on Facebook or you don't use it a lot, then think of another way, Instagram, LinkedIn, or just say, hey, I would love to, connect with you later, or go to coffee, go to lunch, or just, keep you in my phone. Do you want to add your information here? And just give them the phone. Like, they'll add the information faster than you could type it in. That's the easiest way. So I've done that. And through the years, like, I have connections in there. I also put, when I connect with someone, if you search an iPhone, so I don't have an Android, I have an iPhone, you have a first name and a last name, and then you have company. And in company, I always put how I met them. So did I meet them on LinkedIn? Did I meet them at a barbecue? Or are they my neighbor? So I kind of like categorize them by how I know them. So then later it can like remind me when I'm like, okay, how did I meet this person? How do I know this person? Because obviously there's lots of Jessicas, right? And so sometimes you're like, okay, who is that person again? And if you don't always get their last name, it's nice to know kind of how you met them. And you can search for that later. That's the easiest way I've found. There's obviously different ways of doing things, but that's what I do. So that's just an idea. Talked about meeting people, adding them on social media, send them a friend request, ask for their phone number. And from there you can invite them to an event. So an event could be a launch party you're having, a sip and sample. We'll talk about those later. Or maybe like a video chat, or maybe Dave MacArthur does a presentation on Sundays, you invite them to that. Or maybe you just connect with them later and share about isogenics. So you could do a training call. You could, after your training calls are over, you could invite them to just, you wanted to share more with them. Maybe something in their conversation kind of sparked, hey, I need to talk to this person later. Obviously, don't be weird. Like, if you're at a party, don't verbally vomit over them and, tell them everything about telomeres and isogenics and all of that. Like, you're probably going to be like the person they want to stay away from. So just talk, and have conversation with them, asking them questions. I mean, if it comes up in conversation and you want to share like your story, I think the best thing to do is your 30-second story, and we'll talk about how to do that in a minute. So don't be weird. Don't verbal vomit over them. Just asking them questions. So how is your job going? If you had more spare time, what would you do? If money and time were not a factor, what would you do? If they have kids, oh, you have kids, like, do you work full time, or do you stay at home, or, that type of thing? What would you do if you and your family could just spend the day together and not have to be on a schedule of going to work and spending time in traffic and all that, right? So just asking them questions, finding out what they're like. I know that several people have done the color codes. So there's different personality styles, and based on what they tell you at the beginning, this is going to be more of an advanced, like, learn more later type thing, but maybe put it in your notes. That basically when someone's in conversation with you, what they tell you first is typically going to be what their color style is, or their color code. And so they're talking about their family. If they're talking about, things that they're passionate about, they're probably a blue. If they're talking about helping people, that's probably a blue, which are great for isogenics. Or if they're talking about, well, I'm a CEO and I went to Harvard, and they start talking about only business, then they're probably a red. So a red is very driven, very goal-oriented, very entrepreneurial. So another great person. If they talk about like just partying all the time, they're probably a yellow. Or if the other color code is white, and so that's someone that's very analytical. Those are the CPAs, those are the attorneys. Typically, when you see them, they're the due diligence officers at securities firms. So those are the types of people, like when you have a group of people. Also, the whites are probably ones who are a little bit more socially awkward. than others. So they're just very intelligent people, which means they're going to want to research things. So when you share isogenics with them, you're going to like know that they're going to want to research things like up and down, through and through. So good to know. Okay, so the next thing would be your 30-second story. And I'm just going to read what's in the 90-day action plan. When sharing your story, obviously you're going to be accurate and truthful. Like, don't make up stuff. Like, don't lie. Not worth it. Gives reasonable expectations. Never suggests products treat, cure, or prevent any disease. That's very important. Like, we don't cure cancer, right? The body is a miracle, and the body will, this is nutrition. You're putting good nutrition in your body, but we don't cure cancer or anything like that. So be very careful with your claims of what you're saying, your conversations, because you technically can get in trouble. You can get Isogenics in trouble, and we don't want the company to shut down, because I want to continue using these products forever. Never make any promises, implies, guarantees financial or physical results. So don't say you can lose 50 pounds in 20 days and, all that, right? I was talking to somebody today that's in network marketing, and her claims were a little bit off, but whatever. Like for instance, we do have our studies, and so you can say from our study, these are the results that were found. So that is accurate information. So that type of thing. Obviously telling people they're going to be a millionaire in a year, like obviously all these results are based on personal stories and personal people and their actions and all of that, right? And so just being upfront with people on that, but you can share stories of people. So like with me, I can share my mom's story. She's she's lost 80 pounds. Sharing Hillary and Justin's story, right? So they've been in Isogenics now for 12 years, or just about 12 years, and they are millionaires in that company. Like, that's not made up, that's actual information. So here's some information for sharing your 30-second story. So before Isogenics, ... I was introduced to Isogenics by ... I've been on the products ... As a result, I am now ... I now feel and believe. So for instance, when somebody asks me what I did when I was in corporate America, I was at, say, like a party, they'd be like, hey, what do you do? And I would be like, I'm in financial services and marketing, but I'm actually very passionate about helping people become educated on nutritional systems that can change their life. So for me, I had pounds that would not budge. I tried other things. I was feeling stuck. And so I was able to lose a muffin top, have amazing energy. In just a few days, my energy just skyrocketed. And then from there, I've just been helping others do the same thing. And now I eat free, right? So I basically, like, that's just sharing kind of like what I would do and what I would say, how I said it before. So that's going to give you an example. And then, just use what is real to you, authentic to you, right? Because it's your story. So it's 30 seconds, and it's not a 5-minute story. It's not a 20-minute story. It's a 30-second story. So it's like an elevator speech or elevator, like when people are like, oh, what do you do? And you're like, and then they get out of the elevator. Like, you're taking too long. So you're just sharing information with them. You're not telling them it's Isogenics. You're not telling them it's a cleanse and it's from New Zealand and like all of that. You're not saying all of that. You're just saying, these are how it's helped me. As a result, I am now an amazing mom. I have great energy. I now feel and believe that everybody should have this in their bodies, right? That's it. And so from there, they're like, oh, really? I want to know more about that, right? And so you can say, hey, there's different ways of doing that. So you could say, hey, I'm actually very new. I've been using the products for just a short amount of time. You tell them what that is. Be realistic with it. Tell them how long it's been. If you've been using the products for 3 months or 3 days, tell them that. Don't say you've been using them for 3 years when it's only been 3 days. And just say, hey, like, upfront with them, I have only been using these for 3 days, but I really love them. And, maybe they talked about, like how they feel or being tired all the time, or, whatever. And so you could say, I would love to share with you how you can, lose those sticky pounds you want to lose by your cruise that you're going on, or by your class reunion, or, things like that. So after you've been listening to them, you're helping them fill a gap. And so you're sharing that with them in that conversation to help book the appointment. And when you're booking the appointment, it's booking a training call, right? Because unless you've done 5 to 7 training calls, you should not really be talking to anybody by yourself, just because you don't know what to say, because you don't have that much product knowledge probably, and you're new, and they're going to ask questions, and you want to be able to answer their questions. So just from that, so you're just saying, hey, I'm new. I would like to get my friend Jessica or my friend Stephanie or whoever it is on the phone with you, and she can share that information, or he can share that information with you because I just started using this product. And they're going to sometimes ask you what it is. You can just say nutritional cleansing. I love it, that type of thing. Let's see. And then scheduling. So does tomorrow during lunch or after work sound better? And then just say, I'm just going to confirm with my friend if that works for them. I'll send a group message so we can get it scheduled. So that's pretty much it there. So when we do the 3-way call, the outline, and I still do this for calls when I'm doing an individual call between myself and another person too. It's a very helpful tool, and it keeps you concise and on the point. You're going to be sharing with them, or the person on the phone's going to share with them that, with a 3-way call outline. So it's going to fill their gaps. They told you maybe, hey, this is so-and-so. She's looking to lose 20 pounds, or she's already, the perfect size. But she really does struggle with something that's convenient and healthy for her. And so this nutrition would help her. Or maybe it's someone who has pain, or wants to just take their athletic performance to the next level, get some muscle mass, that type of thing. And so then you say, hey, this person, that's what their concerns are, or what they want to, kind of learn more about. And then that way the person that you're on the phone with can help tailor the call to that, right? And present packs with that information. Or I also send a list. If it's somebody new I'm connecting with, I'll send like a 1 through 20 that's got different points that, like one of them is struggles with muffin top, wants to lose 10 to 30 pounds, has low energy, has a hard time exercising. So it's going through and sending what they may struggle with, and they send back the numbers that apply to them. So I know what gaps they have. So when I get on the phone with them, I can just cover that and the product information with them and go straight to the point, if that makes sense. Okay, so after the call, or during the call, I'm sorry, something I got from my call last night that I really think is helpful. So isogenics, traditionally I have been doing good, better, best, right? With 3-way calls. And so people get started on a system, and there's these 3 packs, right? And then last night when we were on the call, one of the ladies said, well, I always share the ultimate pack, or it's also been called the business builder pack. But that pack is typically good for people who are, going to be using the pack themselves, but then other people in the household may want to nibble on their snacks or use their shakes, that type of thing. And so it's great for 1 person or 2 people. And so that pack has samples literally of everything. And because of how it's packaged, it's giving you everything: joint support, sleep support, the vitamins. You actually get 2 boxes of vitamins. And then it's also got everything that's in the 30-day. It's got whey thins, it's got chocolates, it's got e-shots, skincare. Literally, they've thought of everything for this pack. And so it's got business builder stuff in it. And so it's also, because it's so much on literally everything that we have, then it's a tax deduction for them. And so, looking at, not only just stopping at the value pack, but then also doing this business builder pack, or it's called ultimate pack. So I send it and I say ultimate pack. And so that pack, it's in your back office, it's in on your website. So you can find the information there. I also just created like Insta collage. So I just created a picture with all 4 packs so people can see exactly what's in the packs. And I send them a text or a Facebook message with everything that's in the pack, outline it, how much it is, how many meals it's replacing. And then I also send them how much per meal they're really spending when they break it down, because honestly, like, they're saving money most of the time, right? Unless they're eating like ramen noodles, which isn't good for them anyway. And so then I'm going over the cost breakdown on the call with them, and then I send it to them in a message as well, with links to the website with the pack, so they can go through and see exactly what it is, how much it costs, what's in it, all that. Because for visual people like me, you want to see something that is on that. So then, after that, at the end of that, showing them the packs, on the call, we just talk about referral programs. So auto rewards, 100 BV auto ship is required for that. Helps you get your, we talked about eating free, right? So I always share with them how they can eat free. I always tell everyone, so do you have a couple accountability partners that you'd like to, get started with, or that can benefit from this program? And then from there, you can share the referral program in more detail. And then asking them which plan sounds like the best fit for them. So that's basically just finishing up the call, asking them the last question, and then from there, going with what they say. So they can say, okay, I know this pack right here. That sounds great. Let's just go ahead and do it. And so then you just take the enrollment over the phone, and you can put it in the computer right then, or you can do an enrollment form, however you want to do it. And then if they say, hey, like, I would love to get more information, I'm not sure yet, let me talk to my husband, let me talk to my wife, let me think about it, let me wait till payday, let me call you in 30 days, or whatever they say, to follow up. I always add them to Fit Happy Life. I welcome them into the page, and then I tag them in posts. Under the post, you comment with their name. If you do the @ sign and then their name, it'll come up and it'll tag them in the group. Actually, you have to add them to the group first, right? So that's the first step, add them to the group. Second one is welcome them. Third step is tag them in post and share more information with them. So if you talked about isogenesis vitamins, obviously in the value pack, and in that 4th pack, the ultimate pack, then you're going to want to make sure you tag them in what's in the vitamins, right? Because that information is so good. You can put the video link to Today is the Day under where you welcome them in the comments. You could also send them the Transform Your Life video. So after you watch some videos on iSaMovie, you'll kind of know which videos you want to send them, or I can mention that on the call with them. When I'm on the call with you and them, I'll tell you which video to send them. And then there's also the Mary Evans Cleanse video. That's already in Fit Happy Life. I really like that video. So you could tag them in that post, and so they can see that video. All right. So that's pretty much on that. But then you'll also hear someone say, you know what, that's just really not for me. And you'll say, great, no problem. Like, I can add you to that community page, because you just never know what might change. Also, I really appreciate referrals. And so you may know somebody that's close to you, or you may hear of someone later that may come to mind, and you'll say, oh my gosh, like, I need to get back in touch with the person that shared Isogenics with me, because this person really does need this. And so I will add you to that page, and then you can take a look around. And then when the time is right for you, or if you have someone else that you want to refer, then I would totally love the referral. And so Jimmy Smith, he's in Isogenics. He's in his 90s now. I think he's just hit 90. He always say that if they tell you no, they just don't know enough. And so sometimes it's new information, right? And so someone has to be ready for a change. And so this is sometimes for them, they're not ready for a change. If they're drinking Diet Coke every day, they're probably not ready for a change if they're happy with where they're at. And so they may not be ready yet. And that's okay, because we know in that Facebook group, people will see transformations, they'll see new information. And so, like, that information will be coming to them. When you make posts, they get a notification on Facebook that you've made a post. And so, like, I'll see people, like tonight, I made a post, or today, a transformation post. And so I could see people liking that post. And one of the ladies, she's been in the group for a little bit, and she still is on the fence. And so hopefully, she'll be getting started soon, and all of that. But she's seen the post that I'm making. All right, the next thing we'll talk about, because we talked about connecting online, we've talked about connecting over the phone or video chat. And video chat's just using the Zoom like we're doing right now, right? And the next way is in person. So that's maybe a in-person meeting, a sip and sample, or maybe a launch party. So a sip and sample is where people are trying the products, maybe sample of bars, hydrate, etc. I know Cheryl, she just had her sample a couple weeks ago. It was on Sunday before Super Bowl, and she invited some ladies from church, and so they all came, they tried some stuff. She made some amazing protein brownies that were really good, and she put raspberries on top of them, and she had chai tea and everything. So you can make it fun, right? Like you can have music playing, you can get people together, right? It doesn't have to be like a weird stuffy party. And so you can show a video at that party. You can show Transform Your Life, or Today's the Day, or Are You Toxic? And then you can share your 30-second story. And then if I'm there with you, which I would love to be if you're close, and it works out, then I can share my story and I can do the presentation, or you can do the presentation, right? So you've already done your training calls. You could host your own party and literally share the information with them, go over the products, all from that 3-way call outline. So you could have that sheet in front of you. Like, they're not going to care. I also have a product set up. I keep my canisters and packaging from my products, and have like a shake canister, a shake individual packet, cleanse bottle, cleanse the canister that it comes in if it's powder. So things like that, just to show like a product display of different products that we would go through. And so they could kind of visually see that, right? It's nice to have that. So yeah, you just keep your empty containers, right? So you can build your product display after you're using the products. And then from there, you could show them transformation pictures. You could show, you could show them your website, your catalog. Every person gets a catalog when they join, so you probably already have a catalog if you've kept it, and you can share it with them. So that's pretty much it from an in-person. You could have coffee with someone, you could have lunch with someone, you could just meet with them at their house and share the information, or you could do a sip and sample party, launch party, and invite people too. I would highly suggest that. Like, honestly, I know they had sip and samples through the holidays, and that was really fun. You could have other people host them for you. So say, for instance, you've already had one and you want to have someone else host it for you. Then you can have them host it, and you just bring the snacks, right? They don't have to bring any food. So that's pretty much it for the in-person. So one of the things I wanted to mention and remind you of is that Isagenix is a gift. It's a gift of health, and it's also a gift of financial freedom. So when you're asking people to do the training calls with you, or the business, just to share the business information with them, you're not asking them a favor. You're really presenting something that's an opportunity for them to get better health, or combination of health and really up-level their future, their life, right? And so it's really a gift. So, you can be picky on who you ask. If they don't fit, if it's somebody who you don't want to be around, then don't ask them. Like, it's just that simple. I make a list of the qualities that I want in my team and my people that I ask. And it's so funny because those people show up. Like, it's so crazy today. Or last night I was on this call, and then I finished up and had the executive call. And literally, while I was doing that, someone connected with me. I'm in a mom's group on Facebook, and she sent me a message. She had liked a transformation post that I had done. But she never commented. I should have sent her a message, but I didn't yet. I'm bad, sorry. Don't listen to what I'm doing. So what I'm saying is you should connect with someone after they like your post. And just say, hey, thanks for liking my post. I would love to share more with you. And so she actually reached out to me because she has a network marketing business. And so she would be a great person on our team to use the products, right? Like she doesn't have to necessarily do the business, but she has a network of people that she knows, and she wants to lose weight. She wants to have more energy. She's a mom. She wants to stay home with her daughter. So this could be a really big gift for her if she starts using the products, right? So they say that one business builder is equal to 1,000 product users. So when I say business builder, I mean somebody who literally uses the products, sees results, and then shares it with others and refers others. That's what I mean by business builder. So it's really not that hard. Most of you are doing it anyway. You're just not getting paid for it. And so typically if you're sharing it with people, you're like, I've been sharing, I've been doing posts on Facebook. I've talked to people, I've talked to all these people, and nobody wants to do it. Then I would say, let's do training calls. I know for me, like I've been in Isogenics for probably 2 years. I've been using the products. I would sign up people here and there. Nothing too amazing. Nothing like rock star-ish. And Amy Dunlap said, who's one of my mentors in Isogenics, she said, Jessica, like, let's do some training calls. And at first I was kind of like, oh, I don't know, that sounds weird, like training calls. I don't need training. I've been doing this on my own. But once I started doing training calls, then people started showing up in my business. Like they started joining, most of you probably came from that, right? Like I probably did a training call with you when I first started for the people that have been in for quite a while. Or I was trained from that training call. And when I shared with you, you probably said, oh, well, she knows what she's doing, right? Well, it was because I had the training call back then, so that whenever you and I had a conversation, then I knew what I was saying and I knew what I was doing. And it wasn't weird, and you obviously decided to join. So everything went good, right? And for some, it takes longer than others, and I get that, right? But I always follow up because they say it takes 7 to 10 follow-ups before someone sometimes will join. And so I'm not trying to pester people, but at the same time, I know that it's timing sometimes. So tax return time is coming. It's already here. People are filing their taxes. They're getting their tax return back. They have extra money. And they've been wanting to do this a while. And so they've been wanting to make a change. They started New Year's resolutions. They're already like falling off the wagon. And so you can help them. So ask them to do a training call with you. If you know someone that's been complaining about their weight, or you talked to before and said, you know, we talked about this before, but I'm just trying to get my training calls done. And I would love for you to hear the information. And honestly, like, it's been a huge gift for me, and I know it would be for you too. So I think it's all about your posturing, right? And so let's go into, this is an idea from Bonnie Schinner. Bonnie Schinner is an amazing woman. She's shared her testimonies on Isogenics, the Fit Happy Life group, and IsoRocks. She's someone that I look up to very highly in the business, and then also product-wise. She was sharing, we talked about connecting with 10 cold connections a day, friending friends on Facebook, people you may know in Facebook from their, Facebook list they give you. Or if they like a post, that type of thing. If you post in a group, like a mom's group, or maybe you play dodgeball and you like dodgeball. And so you post in a group, but someone likes your posts, and so it's something related to dodgeball. You could friend them on Facebook. I play volleyball, so I friend the people in the volleyball group, right? And so they follow you, they follow your posts. And so having your posts set on public as opposed to private, so they see those posts all the time. And then you can use hashtags. So I had a call with a guy who's in California because I made a hashtag on one of my posts, and I said hashtag growth mindset. And he messaged me based on that. He wanted to increase his connections and connect with people that had a growth mindset. And so that's what he searched for, and he found me. He lives in California. He is a very great prospect for a business. So like that's exactly how you connect with people. And then warm connections, 5 of those a day, messaging them, texting them on Facebook or on Instant Messenger. And then saying, thanks for liking my post. I really appreciate it. Helps my team, helps, everything we're doing. I would love to share more with you. Would you have a couple minutes? Or would you have some time? Because typically calls will take about 20 minutes. And then 3 shares. So 3 opportunity shares. An opportunity whole facts means the 3-way call outline. So 5 to 7 training calls, and we're using the outline for the opportunity share. And then once you've been product trained, you've done 5 to 7 training calls, then you can do those calls on your own, and you're going to share the whole facts information from that 3-way call outline. So that's not just saying, hey, it's Isagenix, here's my website. Like that's not sharing the whole facts, right? That's called half facts. So anyway, that's what I know. And then follow-ups, 15 per week on that. New shares, we talked about 15 per week. So 3 times 5 is 15. So 3 shares a day average. When I was in corporate America, I will not lie, most of my shares were on the weekend, on my lunch break, on my drive home, on my way to work. So all different times, right? Like if you're going to be in the car for 30 minutes, you might as well be on a call and sharing Isagenix with people. And once you're trained, like you can do that, right? And then let's see here. That was pretty much it. We just talked about, thinking about who you want in your accountability group, in your life, part of this, community, part of this business, and thinking about who those people are. So Audrey McLeod, she was Audrey Moss before. She literally has thought about having all blonde-haired, blue-eyed women. And so if you look at her team, that's what she has. And so thinking about who you want in your business. So what are those people, what do they like to do? What are their, what's their family life look like? Are they single? Are they married? Are they have kids? So think about who you are and what things you may already have, you may already be doing, who you already are, and think about the people that you relate to the most. So, obviously for me, I have 1 child, I'm going to have another one. So I'm going to relate to people with small kids and then moms who are expecting. So you better believe the moms that are expecting in this Facebook group I am in, I'm commenting on their stuff, I'm liking their posts, I'm friending them on Facebook, I'm becoming friends with them. If I see them out and about, I'm like, oh my God, your baby looks, babies are amazing. So I'm always commenting on, babies and how cute they are. I've yet to see an ugly baby. There really aren't that many out there. So, just thinking about who you already relate to. A lot of moms, they really don't want to go back to work. They want to stay home with their kids. Maybe they do. Maybe they want to stay home. Maybe they want to work. I don't know. But a lot of them, if you talk to them and ask them questions, they want to stay home with their kids. And so what if you could give them that gift and they could stay home with their kids? Trust me, that passion right there will drive them, and they will be a rock star in your business. So think about people who have a higher calling or just want to give back in life. And, that's really, what we're looking for, right? We don't want the Susie, the slump who comes home from work and sits on the couch all day and doesn't want to do anything, doesn't want to clean her house, doesn't want to exercise, doesn't care about anything. That's probably not the person you're going to invite to your business. You're going to invite the motivated person who gets after it already and, is wanting more in life. But maybe they do come home from work and they're so tired, and that's why they sit on the couch. And you can help them have energy, right? So they want to get up and in the morning and go to, do whatever they're going to do. But they look forward to life, and they come home from work and they're excited and they want to spend time with their family and do other things because now they have energy because you gave them the gift of Isagenix. So with that, that's all on connecting tonight. If you have any questions or want any more information, definitely go to that 90-day action plan. There's some pages in there on connecting. And then tomorrow night we'll have some more information, some affirmation stuff, talking about executive. And this is really the one you want to be on. So don't miss tomorrow night. All right. Thank you guys. We'll talk soon.